Okay, I'm ready to be heard by you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hindi pa ako handa magsalita kanina eh. Ngayon, rinig niyo na ako? Yan. Hey, Chai! Raquel Lozano, wala tong audio. Meron ng audio. Hindi pa ako handa kasi hindi pa nga ako nagsusupply eh. Tsaka may kausap ako dito. Yeah. Napanood niyo ba yung press briefing ni, ni incoming president? Napanood niyo? Ako rin napanood ko. And I wanted to talk about that because that is the first time that he actually directly talked to the media in a press briefing. That was supposed to happen today. That happened today, and Attorney Trixie was supposed to be there with him. Except that nabalitaan nga namin na na-expose kami sa COVID-19 na virus. So now we are in the process of self-quarantining ourselves. Siguro, ganun. For the next 14 days. Good luck sa amin, di ba? Mayong gabi, Romeo. Si Almira, si Mejiano, si Aline Arsenas, yes. Si June Rocha, Victoria Purisima. Okay na po, sabi niya. Yeah. Alright. Let's wait a little while for our friends to come to arrive. Kamusta kayo po? Today is Monday. Today is Monday, June 20. That's about 10 days more to go before the new administration begins. Right. Ay, nga pala, huwag natin kalimutang mag-like, mag-share, mag-comment sa ating Facebook page, Luminous, by Trixie Cruz-Angeles and Ahmed Paglinawan. But Attorney Trixie is on leave from the page, so it's just me and JP and Adrian. But it's still Luminous. Okay. Please like and share our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is similarly named Luminous din. Binago na natin ng konti yung banner of both YouTube and Facebook to signal the fact na mag-relieve mo na si Attorney Trixie from Luminous because of her appointment. Diba? Mi Fasol. Lakas ng appeal. Really. Kayo, nambubola pa kayo ha? Ace Kinol. Okay yan, Ace Kinol. Ako naman ay PH Car. Yan yung aking handle. PH Car. Yan yung aking handle dyan. Ganyan. Uy! Si Evangeline. Ang aga-agang nag-super sticker ha. Wala pa nga masyadong na kwento. Thank you. Yeah. Miss Bloom. Nawa si Miss Bloom. Miss Annette Alegre. D. Si Rosalita Fabricius Hansen. Hansen sounds like a Swedish name or in that area of the world. Si Flomen Ferrer. PH Car. That's me. Si Ace Kinol is, that's him, Ace Kinol. I am a PH Car. Thank you, Evangelist, sa pagbenas mo. Thank you very much. Si Merlita, hello to, attorney, sabi niya. Si Army, si Anna Marie, si Marivic Chavez, hi po from HK. Kung naman si Aida Galdiano, sumagot din. Thank you din sa'yo. Ida ba yan? Ida or Aida? I have a cousin, her name is like that, IDA. We call her Aida. Is that Ida for you? Winnie Saide. Is that Saide or Said? Boyet Medalo. Mayong gabi sa mga diha, Boyet. Ano sa isang dana itong yanabay? Si Alan Ragay, si Nori, si Nanette, si Barracuda. Ako, isdang kanal lang ano ko, handle sa radyo. Kit-kit. Isdang kanal. Pa-shoutout daw kay Christine Buenviaje. Good travels, good travels. Mila Narca Poso. Good morning, sabi niya, from Toronto. Sa yung Toronto, is that in Canada? Yung maraming Canadians? Tama, no? Jacqueline Padre. Yes. Ida. Sabi ni Ida ay Ida daw ang pagbasa ng kanyang pangalan. Great, great, great. Thank you for telling me. Si Risa Koga. Good evening. Nakasapon ragit ko sa imong live, ingon ni Boyet. Sus, nabugi kayo si Boyet. Sinaw po kayo po ba? Bertod. Shout out! Uy, brother! Si Mikel Angelo Huzon. Kilala ko yan siya, yung mamang yan. O, muntik na magpare yan eh. Kaso lang, nung malapit na siyang magpare, naisipan niya na sumunod sa akin kay Satan. Kaya umalis siya sa seminaryo. Yan, si Michael Angelo Huzon. Brother, magandang gabi sa'yo dyan. Nagaling din po ako sa seminaryo kasi yung bala ko yung magpare before I realized that I am the devil. So, yun. Si Jonathan, how are you? Si Mary Grace, si Scheider, si Pina, magandang gabi. Si Alicia Gonzalez. Gonzalez ang middle name ko. My mother is a Gonzalez and spelled that way, exactly like yours. April Bing Abrigana. That's aperitif. That's aperitif. It's what you eat or drink before you eat your main meal. Abrigana, open gala. Si Almira, sabi niya, hindi daw ako camera shy. Hindi ako camera shy kasi mag-isa lang ako dito. Pero sa labas, topic natin ngayong gabi ay, ikaw ang topic natin, brother. Hindi. Ang topic natin ngayong gabi ay ang aking observation, ang aking reaction about how BBM as an incoming president carries himself, answers questions, holds a press briefing, and the things that he talks about in that press briefing held earlier today, this afternoon. At yung aking mga preliminary comments on what to expect from this guy. I was supposed to have a guest tonight for a while, but since I am going to talk about BBM and his press briefing, mukhang hindi siya pwede dahil mukhang masyadong biased and then diba? So baka pupunta na lang dito mag-hi-hi sa inyo mamayang konti. But I will begin this now. Hello, Rowena, hello. Mendoza from Italy. Si Tatiana Akira, good evening din sa'yo. Si Bogs, goes to saan? Saan ka pumunta, brother? Saan ka pumunta? Poland. Yeah. Okay, yung Poland yan. I like those people, the Polish. Si Nami Victory Party sa July 3 for Unity Twitter Space Group. Nami Inasal. Nabay ko andiha. Katong akong paborito. Sino wala? Hello, Engelbert. Is that your real name? Engelbert. Kasi ang maalala ko si Engelbert Humperdinck ay magaling kumanta yan ng Delilah. Oo. Si Engelbert. Mike Malones. Malones. Is that Malones or Malones? Si Wilma. Hello, Wilma. Mila. Gilbert. Mulak. Escudero. Dina. Cheryl Arellano. Si Aling Macor. That's a nice name. Nancy Amores Nicole Libertino A. Rose. Alright. Magaling. Okay, very well. Um, what about Mr. Bongbong Marcos? Ang iyong aseo, sabi niya. Ewan ko ano ibig sabihin niya. Basta ganun nga sinabi niya. Alright, sabi ni, ni Mr. BBM, yung thrust natin, when he hits the ground on July 1, ang response na natin sa economic problems natin right now because of the pandemic and war in Ukraine is focused or identified areas of the economy of our country and not the economy as a whole. And his reason for that is we don't have so much resources, especially when we are coming out of the pandemic. We are still not yet out of it, but we are getting there. We are getting to get out of it. Kulang tayo ng pera. And therefore, he says, our economic response plans would be to implement a focused, parang topical approach to the response to our problem in the post-pandemic, coming out of the pandemic economic eh, recovery. Okay? Which is a good thing to say, which is a bright, smart thing to say. To think that many people before the elections, to, malign this guy for being stupid and uninformed, uneducated, dropout, and all that stuff. But he seems to just judging on how he carried himself and how he answered and the contents of his answers, uh, somehow projected some kind of an informed man. And not only that, he is an he was his candidate in the lead up to the elections. Parang napansin ko sa lahat ng mga nagtumakbo, ay ito lang yung nag-isip, ito lang yung naghanda, ito lang yung nag-aral on what to say exactly during the campaign. He prepared on his answers on certain issues that would be expected to be the focus of concerns of the citizens of the country, of the voters, di ba? Parang siya lang ang nag-aral. Parang pagka tinanong mo siya, he would quickly answer, and most of the time his answer would be really on point and intelligent. Intelligent. He is intelligent. Okay. And it goes to show na itong taong to naghanda siya. Naghanda siya. And in fact, I really didn't intend to vote for him, which I also didn't because I didn't vote at all because I was not allowed to vote. But I never really thought of, I never really had high hopes for this guy because taga Davao ako, and during the Marcos martial law of Ferdinand Marcos Sr., kami yung masyadong nayari doon sa aming dalaw. I saw how bad it was. Not the economy, not anything else, but the political situation and the situation of the poor in the rural communities. Kasi doon yung militarization ng bigat masyado because of the insurgency, yung NPA and the Islamic secessionist movement ng MNLF and Bangsamoro Army, di ba? At doon ko nakita talaga na maraming namamatay, but those were the things that the military did. And it was under martial law, so the military had so much power in that area of the world sa Pilipinas. And marami talagang namatay, and I saw mga ninong ko, mga kaibigang, mga magulang ko, mga pare, mga marami, and they died. They died. So I didn't have much. Well, he didn't have a good image. Okay, but that well, maybe I'm talking about his father and not him. But like every most of the Filipinos that fell to fell for the lies of the yellow line, eh, na-realize ko na unfair naman din na i-judge ito based on my experience with his father as president during that time na martial law. Eh ngayon, wala namang martial law. He didn't declare martial law because he couldn't have declared one. And, nobody's dying. And if there are people dying, it's not his fault. Or it's not his doing. So I realized, no, I have to give this guy a chance, at least, in terms of faith or benefit of the doubt. Let's just listen to this guy first, see what he can do, because we've already seen the female candidates' ability to do and not do, and understand and not understand, and just not know anything about our country, di ba? And the stuff that she did against our country. So, sa akin, pagkumpara mo itong si Mr. Marcos with the female candidate and all the rest of the other male candidates, eh, ito yung nag-aral eh. Ito yung nag-aral. Ito yung nag-aral ng pagiging presidente bago siya tumakbong presidente. And if that is what he did, then it's not very surprising why he won. Why he won? Because he was able to show that he is serious about what he wants to do, uh, which is to become president. Not even his plans for this country yet, but he just shows to me, um, um, I am biased against him really, but he made me realize na we have to give this guy a chance because everybody does. Everybody deserves a chance, di ba? It's not fair to judge him completely and conclusively based on the actions of his father and based on the context of his father's time as president, because he was probably a child then, teenager or something like that. Di ba? But that's what I did, and that's what I'm still doing now. And I must say, well, this guy is surprising. This guy is surprising. Despite the things that the yellows, the pinks say about him, this guy seems to know a lot more than everyone else, a lot more than even I do, and bright people in this country on social media know. So yeah, I think that we should give this guy a chance, especially that he already won the elections. There's nothing we can do about that. But even more, to serve as president to our people, to our country, and see what he really can do, diba? So that was the economic response, and his answer to that question was smart. Na imbis na focus tayo sa isang malaking problema which we call the economy or the economics of this country post-pandemic, he said we have to clearly identify the problem areas that need to be solved or need to be attended to immediately. Immediately. So, ganun. So, parang topical siya. Oh, okay, dito, this part of the economy, medyo matagal-tagal pang magkakaletse-letse yan. Ito muna. So, ganun ang kanyang plano. And that's smart. Di ba? I mean, a person who does not think cannot possibly come up with that kind of idea and just goes on rambling about economy and inflation and the usual suspects that they talk about when they talk about economics. Di ba? All those things. But mahal ang presyo, ganyan-ganyan, inflation, ganyan-ganyan, foreign debt, the usual suspects. This guy talks about we should look at the economy as a in its entirety, and then look at it as a temporarily divisible conglomeration of things that we can segregate one part and solve it and put it back, and this one is a problem, let's get it out and solve it and put it back. Parang ganyan. Di ba? It's bright. It's smart. It's a good planning. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't come up with it on his own, but he chose really good advisors in this case, di ba? And he studied it because he can answer you directly without asking for stuff like notes or a idiot board or a teleprompter or advanced questions, di ba? So this guy, preliminarily, I would say, this guy prepared for this thing. This guy prepared for becoming president. And I don't know how long he's been doing that, maybe since childhood, because his father was president when he was a little older than a little child. So, he was observing his father and through all those years, even through the hard times. But, you know, he knows what he's talking about and he knows how to talk. Okay, the next thing that he says is, and this is also another surprising thing because this is probably the first time I am going to encounter this kind of thing. Sinabi niya na agriculture is the key focus of his administration because it will be the main infrastructure of our recovery post pandemic and in relation to or despite the wars in Ukraine and wherever wars would occur after this one. And he said that to show that I'm serious about what I'm talking about, I will be the Secretary of Agriculture for the time being. Imagine that. He is not only the president, he also intends to be the secretary, his own secretary, in his own cabinet on such a chaotic, problematic, and naghihikahos na ahensya ng gobyerno, agriculture department. How awesome is that? I mean, I'm awesome, but this is awesome too. Iba na presidente ka na, marami ka ng problema, iisipin mo na yung buong kabinete mo, iisipin mo ba yung mga citizens mo, iisipin mo ba yung teritoryo ng Pilipinas, yung karagatan natin, and then he has to focus on agriculture. And everything that comes with it, like every single problem has been hounding this country since Cory Aquino came and Noy Noy left. This guy has balls of steel, I should say, or maybe a platinum. Diba? And to think, Lenny Robredo couldn't even go through one interview intact. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth. But this guy, in plans to be president and secretary of agriculture at the same time. What the hell is, di ba? He's got balls now. That's what I'm talking about. So, yeah. And he's also going to do that. Okay? And then, on the international sphere, sabi naman niya, the Ukraine situation, the war in Ukraine between Ukraine and and Russia, the former USSR capital, he said, well, it's not just an occurrence in Europe. Diba? It's an occurrence in a place where we live. Uh, what does that mean? Well, it means that whatever happens there happens to us as well, because it's going to affect. Hello, can you hear me? Alma or sino ba yun? Si Lucille. Everybody seems to be able to hear me. Yeah. All right. Okay. The global community, he understands it. He understands it, and he anticipates that problems, really serious problems, are coming our way because of the war in Ukraine, and that would begin with our concerns in the imports of feeds and certain raw materials from or even finished products from Ukraine and oil kasi apektado ang oil doon sa gerang yun because Russia is a supplier of oil and so is Ukraine, I suppose. But Ukraine is more known for other things like feeds. Yun nga, yung pinapakain natin sa livestock natin would come from Ukraine, and they would be processed there and even grown there. Okay, and he sees that and he talks about that and does not dwell on kawawa naman yung mga Ukrainians na mamatay sila doon, shit, whatever. Diba? His take on the Ukraine-Russia conflict does not have anything to do with the politics of it. Okay, it traverses the the facade of this entire thing, na different from how other politicians would discuss this kind of thing. Diba? He goes through all the BS of kinugulti nila yung mga ano, yung lumalaban yung mga citizen, whatever, gosh, naguguluhan na ako, ganyan. Siya hindi. Okay, something is wrong there. There's a war there, but that's their business. Our business is how to go on with this economy when much of the stuff that we buy from Ukraine would now be bought somewhere else, would have to be bought somewhere else, and maybe at a higher price. He talks about that, not the death of Ukrainian children. These things are important as well, but everybody is talking about already, di ba? And this guy talks about the real effect of Ukraine, the Ukraine conflict in our economy, in our country, in our upcoming administration, and how it is going to be for us after the pandemic, coming out of the pandemic, right? And then he says, economic forecasting, asking the NEDA, the DBM, the Department of Finance, and everything else, the kanyang finance team or something like that, economic team, to develop a proactive, a consultative style of approaching the problem. Yung hindi reactionary, yung may inflation dyan, sige, sasagot tayo ng ganito. He intends to do, and most presidents say this thing, itong proactive na to, itong non-reactionary, itong progressive na ganitong mga motherhood statements na to, motherhood statement or words. But nobody seems to know how to do it. You know, we keep saying all this proactive dapat tayo, but nobody knows how to effing do it. You know, what the hell? But this guy talks about, well, maybe he didn't even use the word proactive. He just says, I'm asking my team to continually and continuously study the economics of our current economics of our country, and come up with and come up with suggestions on how to retool, to reinvent the way we approach problems, the methods that we do to solve, to discover the questions that need to be answered, and to formulate the answers and to implement what those answers contain. So he talks about these things without saying the motherhood statements. Yeah, everyone else would say, okay, we have to be proactive there and then move on. Like, yeah, well, whatever. How do you do that? I know how to spell it. Proactive. NGA or something like that. Diba? He talks about the things that he would do that would make it proactive. Diba? Which is, again a, a man of fewer review sessions in his free time wouldn't be able to say. Wouldn't be able to say. Man or woman. Okay? Yeah. He says the DA, the Department of Agriculture, is an archaic. Well, he didn't say this. I'm saying this. But this is exactly what he meant by what he said. Itong DA na to is non-responsive. It's a useless agency. in relation to the problems that it has been having since since uh, since 1986 when his father left and his father was asked or forced to leave, di ba? Um, let's go higher. Yeah. So, so now he says, yung mga opisina dyan na hindi na nag-function because the problems that they used to be the reasons why these agencies or departments in that agency existed, the reason for their existence is no longer existing. Hindi nyo na nasagot yung problema nyo. Wala na ang problema. Lumipas na, may mga marami ng ibang problema. And since you were not able to answer those earlier problems that came your way, your existence is no longer justified and needed, and it just eats away money and budget, di ba? So sinasabi niya na may mga opisina dyan na hindi na gumagana because they're just there for the purpose of employing people and paying them money from the government. But it's no longer doing anything. It's not solving problems. It's not discovering new solutions or discoveries or inventions and stuff. Diba? So sinasabi niya na we go back to the basics as we come out of the pandemic, discover all the things that are new, especially problems and questions and issues, so that we can begin to identify the test, the preliminary trial answers that we can make, di ba? That's how the scientific method goes. You have to formulate the question, okay? You have to formulate the problem, and then you try to answer it. And when you formulate your answer, and you're final with it, and you state it, and then test, test it, di ba? And ask everybody else, test it as well on their own. So ganun yung sa kanya. He has that kind of culture of science, mental mental acumen for the scientific method. He knows how to think in scientific ways, di ba? In approaching the problems that in a way that science would, or scientists would. So that's good. That's a good thing because that's what we lack. Even in at our age right now, where we are, the Philippines, in relation to other countries, tayo ang pinaka medyo relatively low down on the ladder of having a culture of science. Okay? Wala tayong kultura ng siyensya. Naniniwala pa rin tayo sa mga kung ano-ano. I'm not saying na paniniwala sa herbal medicine is not scientific. Of course not. That's scientific. It's just that hindi tayo maniniwala na pagka naglagay ako ng tao dito, matatakot yung mga maligno and therefore I will get well. That is not culture of science. Okay? But it's the same thing. Yung herbal medicine pa rin yun. But without all the BS that premonition and what you call this, tinuhuan sa bukton. Paniniwala mga whatever, di ba? Yeah. So he does not, well, maybe he has those kinds of things, okay, but it's just part of his culture being Ilocano and all that. But when he acts as a president or problem solver, he definitely has the culture of science with him, di ba? To as a tool to help him along. So that's good. That's another good thing because I don't see any culture of science in any other candidate for president for the 2022 election. Well, nobody exhibited that kind of thing except this guy. Except this guy. Right? And then I goes on to talk about imports of rice and talks about these countries that used to be our students in how to plant rice. Thailand, Vietnam, and all that, Korea, are now have been exporting their rice and us re-importing their rice, and now are putting a moratorium on that kind of thing. So and they would stop temporarily exporting rice to us. Bakit? Kasi naghihirap din sila because of the war and because of the pandemic, stuff like that. So ngayon, we find ourselves in a situation where the people that we taught before are now self-sufficient, and they're even selling us the things that we told them to plant, taught them to plant, and now they're planning to stop it, to stop selling it to us, to secure their own countries and their own people. And nobody seems to see this. Nobody seems to know how to talk about it. If they do see it, nobody seems to give more importance than this guy does to agriculture. Di ba? And I suppose that this is not his own idea, because I can definitely see that he has the benefit of having been there when his father was president, when his father was talking about agriculture and irrigation and all that stuff for farmers, and a green revolution and those things that were suddenly stopped when Korea, arrived, because she was just a complete clueless person. But this guy enjoys that kind of happy coincidence, a serendipity. Na nagkataon kasi na yung tatay ko, yun ang ginagawa nun, we can bring it back. And therefore, I'm able to talk about these things. Di ba? So, again, that is a good character. Good, a, it's a good thing to have in a candidate or a incoming president, because he didn't have to study this on his own from square one or from zero. Diba? He just had to review ano ba yung ginawa ng tatay ko nito before siya pinalayas to sa Pilipinas, stuff like that. And then studies these things in his maybe his free time, and now he's talking about these things, and he's like reviving these things that his father tried to do. That's brilliant. Because between a person who does not have any experience in whatever, like even not even in lawyering, and this guy, I'll go for this guy. Even if I don't really like him very much because he's a Marcos, but yeah, let's just put it aside for a while, and just look at this guy for what he has and what he knows and what the hell he's talking about. I would choose this guy over a completely clueless woman, di ba? Okay, and then he talks about mining. My mother was so involved in the anti-mining movement because we were communists, and part of how communists in the 80s, late 70s and the 80s would recruit people is to go through the route of community organizing, helping the women, organizing them and bringing them to communism and joining the NPA, and also helping out the women and the older folk of the communities, the barangays, or ganito ganyan, to look at ecology and environment and use that kind of narrative to again recruit them to the Communist Party. And we fell for that. I mean, yeah, I completely fell for it. I am a communist because of these things. Uh, well, I'm not a communist who will die in this war because I'm a really smart communist. The idiots there who are not even communists, as far as I'm concerned, are running around in the mountains and trying to hide from the helicopters that Turkey sent us. It's really dumb. I mean, like, yeah, if you continue being dumb, you're gonna die, man. Nangyayari sa kanila dyan. But, again, this guy talks about environmentally neutral. I would not agree with that. It's just probably ecologically neutral, not environmentally. Because the concern about mining is not only the environment, but also the people that live in that environment, and that's ecology. It's ecology. Okay? The people that live in that environment, the people that would be displaced if the tailings pond of this mining company would landslide in a one rainy afternoon because what mining does to our mountains weakens everything and then it facilitates landslide and all that stuff. Hold on. Who is there? Oh, the dog is here. And the guest is here. Hi. What's going on? Our guest came with a giant dog. Here he is. Here is. Siya makita eh. Stand. Stand. Oh, take a seat. Take a seat. Hi. Pabayaan mo yan siya.
No, I'm just getting excited. Hi, what are you talking about?
Itaas mo yung may switch yun sa gilid.
Like, sorry.
Kasi nang paso eh. There, there.
I can move around without him. Hey, sir, come here. Hi, guys. What are you talking about?
Ferdinand Marcos.
Oh, yeah. He's taking over the portfolio of Agriculture
Imagine
Secretary.
that. Diba?
So now we have a president who's in the cabinet and a vice president also in the cabinet. Nice. Galing,
How
no?
was it?
So it's a working presidency and working vice presidency. Now, normally the president has a lot already on his hands. Pero, which is, but now, kasi sobrang importante, ang sinasabi ng ating President-elect, na kailangan daw ibigyan uli ng ayusin yung value chain. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? So, may value chain kasi yung sa agrikultura. Diba? You're the farmer son. So,
Yeah, agriculture and in relation to mining and
meron din siyang mga comments tungkol dun sa mining. So basically, ang sinasabi niya is kailangan tutukan yung dalawang industriya. Well, he talked about mining only because in response to a question, pero alam niya naman na ang tinututukan niya dalawang industriya para makarecover tayo o dalawang sektor para makarecover tayo sa COVID. Ito ay ang agrikultura at ang tourism, local tourism. So nakapag-elaborate siya doon sa agrikultura at sinabi niya na siya nga mismo ang mag-take over dito sa departamentong to. So alam natin, seryoso na, tutukan na pagdating sa agrikultura. Tapos i-restore nga niya yung ayusin daw niya yung value chain dito. So ano ba yung chain pagdating sa agrikultura? Of course, yung pag-farm, yung mula sa pagtatanim o sa ano ba yan? Sa itatanim, sa pagtatanim, sa abono, lahat ng mga factors na ito, yung mga pagbenta na to, making sure that it reaches the market and so on. So, including yung mga umaabot sana siya dun sa mga sektor na nangangailangan. So, this brings to mind yung mga kadiwa na stores or rolling stores para umaabot ang mga murang produkto sa mga taong talagang nangangailangan. So, nakikita natin na ito yung, how do you call this? This is really one of those things na tututukan ng ating President-elect. And it's a serious thing because siya mismo ang tututok doon. So, tignan naman po natin yung mga susunod na pronouncements. Maganda din yung mga sinasabi niya sa mining. Ang sinasabi niya, hindi yan aayusin nito. And he is looking towards yung paglalagay ng yung hindi lang po tayo source ng raw materials. Kasi ano nangyayari, minimid na sa atin, ini-export natin or tapos hindi yan man lang na re-refine o hindi, wala tayong other input doon other than tayo yung nag-provide ng material na yon. So, tinitignan niya kung pagdating sa mining ay yung meron pang madagdag. Hindi lang yung nanggagaling dito sa atin, baka pwede natin kahit partially i-refine and so on para mag-create ng mas malaki pang employment at saka mas makaka-generate ng economic activity. So yan po yung mga nabanggit niya doon sa kanyang press conference kanina.
Nawala ka.
Ang galing ng presidente, no? Wala ako doon, normally ako yung mag-moderate niyan, kaya lang medyo may konting
Na-expose.
issue. So titingnan natin, magpapa-test lang po ako regularly para makita kung talagang kung ano na po ang nangyayari dito sa aking kondisyon, aming kondisyon. Pero wala naman akong ah, nakikita na
Nararamdaman ba?
issue. At
Symptoms.
tinatanong ni Maming kung ano daw po yung magsasahod dun po as secretary si BBM o hindi na po. Hindi po. Isa lang po ang kanyang sahod at ito ay bilang presidente dahil pag-assume niya dun sa bilang sekretarya ay addition lang dun sa kanyang mga duties. Bawal po kasi ang double compensation sa atin sa gobyerno. So, he can only be compensated. Excuse me for one.
Ito.
Yeah, there's something. He can only be compensated for one of the jobs that he has undertaken. Bakit hindi ko makita yung
Yung.
yung, ay, kasi doon pala siya nakalagay. Ayun.
Ito? Yan, mouse. Yan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Sana matutukan ang kopra sa Mindanao dahil napakamura ang bentahan. Titingnan po natin, hindi ko pa po nakikita kung ano yung plano para doon. Pero alam na po natin na one of the reasons para doon sa pagmura ng kopra ay yung milling, so yung mga mills. So titingnan po natin kung ano yung plano ng bagong yung kumbaga, yung designated na kalihim para sa agrikultura at ating president-elect din. Intayin po natin yung mga plano, hayaan nyo, at pagka in-announce niya po yung mga plano na yan, ay automatically i-announce din po natin sa inyo. Ah, ano siya eh.
Slide it back. Yan o.
Okay. Ito, sabi ni Jay, I believe the direction PFRMJ will be moving towards is developing our own industries. Opo. Ito, sabi ni Ma'am Ida, this time that dream of veering away from raw material exporting will come true. Opo, kasi na-spot naman po niya yung problema. Sabi ni Ma'am Ying, naku, hindi nakatipid si PBBM, talagang bawas sahod ng 2 secretaries kasi yung DepEd ah, ay kay Inday na nga, wala ng sahod. Well, isa lang po. So, yung sahod ng mas mataas, usually ang kukunin. Ito, sabi ni Edison Yee, good job nga pala sa accreditation ng mga vloggers sa MPC. Sino po mag-a-apply o mag-avail ng accreditation? Di pa po natin alam kasi ang in-announce pa lang namin ay ang pagre-review ng polisiya. Ang unang question dyan, syempre yung threshold question dyan ay titignan natin kung napapanahon na ba ang pag-accredit nga ng mga vloggers para mag-cover ng Malacanang. So, uh, kaya na ba ng existing na mga vloggers natin or vloggers natin na makapagbigay ng impormasyon in makapagbigay ng magkaroon ng karapatan, hindi karapatan magkaroon ng chance na makalahok doon sa mga press briefings. Kailan ka mag-guest sa Karambola? Aba, pag inas nila ako mag-guest.
Baka palagi ka ng mga guest.
Pati na rin sana mapansin ni PBBM yung backyard scale farming para yung sobra naming bunga na malunggay namin sa pakuran ay may benta namin sa Kadiwa. Pwede rin. Wala pa po bang DOTR sec? Actually, sinagot din po yan ng ating President-elect At ang sabi niya ay umiikli na daw po yung listahan. Marami po kasing nag-apply. So habang tumatagal, nakikilatis nila at umiikli na daw yung listahan. So, intayin po natin yung kanilang announcement.
Short list is getting shorter.
Napakagaling ng ating incoming president. Ang tutok niya talaga ay para doon sa mga nasa ibaba at tunay na naaapektuhan ng kahirapan. Actually, ang tutok ng ating Pangulo ay unity, di ba? So, lahat po para sa lahat. Of course, ang prioridad niya ay yung mga nahihirapan, yung those who have less in life, ganon, at makapagbigay ng mga pagkakataon para doon sa mga walang pagkakataon na makaahon sa buhay. So, teka, nabasa ko na yan. Ayun. Sabi ni Ma'am Pina, I'm so excited for him to clean up the DA, turn it topsy-turvy, and promptly order the ombudsman to file cases if he finds something fishy. So Sekdar has to shape up when he turns over his office. Yes. Well, tandaan po ninyo na well, yeah, you're right. In the ordinary course of things, kung kailangan mag-file, mag-file, of course. Pero alam nyo yan, ang punti rin, ang gusto ni BBM ay tumutok. Meron tayong goal. So, halimbawa dito sa agrikultura, mas takihan, payabungin ang productivity at saka makabenta yung ating mga farmers so that it is not just worth their while pero nakaka-asenso sila. At umaabot din tayo, so hindi na balanse niya yung mga interest. Ang interest syempre ng mga consumers na makabili ng pagkain na mura, while at the same time nakakompensate or nabibigyan na may returns yung ating mga magsasaka na na to the point na makaka-asenso din sila. So these are the balancing of interests na kanyang pinupuntirya. Yun po si BBM, you have to understand that he merong goal. We strive for development. And so,
Nag-aaral siya.
so
Pinag-aralan niya. Wala.
may, okay. Let me see. Ay, thank you kay StarX Minefield para sa inyong super chat. Sa lahat din po na nagpapadala ng star sa atin, di kasi lumilitaw dito sa sa StreamYard, pa rin nagpapadala po ng stars. Maraming salamat po. Pupunta po yan lahat kay Atty. Ahmed.
Hindi, wala. We are not eligible nga.
Hindi, nag-ano na eh.
Meron pa.
Meron na, lumitaw na.
We are
Ito, sabi ni Alim Yosh, the essence of unity means wala nang us against them, kundi us against the world. Tawa na ang awayan. Yeah. Kaya kung mapapansin ninyo, ang hinahabol natin dito is, wala nang tapos na yung eleksyon. So yung mga sagutan, yung mga baldagulan natin, well, limitado na yung panahon na yun. Palipas na po yung panahon na yun. Kailangan tutukan natin yung mga programa at ipalaganap natin yung impormasyon tungkol sa ginagawa ng ating gobyerno para kung may pagkakataon na makilahok tayo din sa mga programa na yon, ay madali na natin madali na tayo makakapag-participate doon. Kamusta na po ang inyong pamumuno sa PCOO so far, sabi ni Yen. Actually, hindi pa naman po ako nakaupo. Sa ngayon, it is still Secretary Martin Andanar. So, wala pa po ako maikikwento tungkol sa pamumuno. Right now, it's all plans. At syempre, minimit natin yung transition teams. Naghanda na rin po at nagpupunta naman ang mga transition teams at mukhang maayos naman po ang pagta-turnover. Ito, sabi ni Ma'am Roselita, maraming korupsyon sa DSWD at DepEd sa syudad ng Mindanao. Sana tutukan naman ng mga locals ang problema. Sana well, I'm sure sa mamamahala ng mga bago nating mga kalihim ay maa-address yung mga problema na gano'n. Sabi ni Holyfield, Madam, ano po ang plano ninyo sa PCOO? Controlled media. Controlled media. Alam nyo, medyo, ano ba tawag doon? It's an oxymoron to say controlled media kasi hindi po allowed ng ating saligang batas mag-regulate ng media. Gawa nga ng sinasabi ng ating saligang batas, no law shall be passed abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, diba? Or of expression. So we can't do that. What we can do is set up accreditation programs or in view of misinformation or disinformation, maglalabas pa tayo ng more information. Okay, ito. Maraming salamat kay Zaidi Torgerson. Wishful thinking, sana parati mag-live si Atty. Osam para parati may bisita sa live si Atty. Briggs. Araw-araw naman daw po magla-live si Atty. Osam. Uy, andyan si Adrian. Hi, Adrian. Nanonood siya from Tel Aviv. Sabi niya, you're doing a good job. Uy, salamat po. Sabi ni Hopper the Explorer, open pa po ba yung vloggers accreditation? Kung ano, nakita niyo po yung aming mga announcements, ulitin ko po. Ang nangyayari sa ngayon, ang una pong mangyayari ay i-review po natin yung polisiya. So, hindi pa po nag-uumpisa ang accreditation. Wala pa pong gano'n. Titignan po natin kung nararapat na tama na yung panahon para tayo accredit ng mga vloggers. Tapos, syempre, magde-decide tayo kung ano yung extent ng coverage na yon. Kung ito ba ay once a month, ano yung duration, sabay ba nila yung Malacanang press corps, and so on. So marami po pong desisyon na kailangan gawin bago natin umpisahan yung accreditation. Gayun pa man, narinig natin na mayroon ngang mga nag-organize na grupo ng mga vloggers. So, siguro ay tungo ito dun sa kanilang, sa ina-anticipate nilang accreditation. Pero on our end, wala pa po. Hindi pa, unang-una, hindi pa po nga po kami nakaupo. Sa June 30 pa ang inauguration. At mag-oath taking pa po kami. Pagkatapos nun ay mag-umpisa ng trabaho ng July 1. And then we will make that determination later on.
Excited ka na?
Ha?
10 days to go?
Oh my gosh, 10 days to go na lang ba?
No, 20.
Holy cow. Lalo kayong gumaganda. Gandang kilay at matamis ko na kayo sa karambola.
Thanks!
Namimiss ko din po ang karambola. Namimiss ko din po kayong lahat. Yung nakakausap ko kayo araw-araw. Kasi pinapagalitan ko yung mga sutil doon sa sa, sa comment section.
Excuse me.
Yan. Ah, sabi ni Cheryl, ilalapit po namin sana yung problema ng mga OFW sa UAE with regard to our balikbayan boxes na di pa namin natatanggap. Umabot na po ng 3 to 7 months. Di na rin po namin makontakt yung All-Win Balikbayan Cargo Company. Patulong po, ma'am. Ma'am, una-una, hindi pa nga po kami nakaupo, so medyo limitado po ang aming magagawa. That's one. Number two, hindi po kasakop sa larangan ng trabaho ko yung Bureau of Customs. Pero, hindi rin ako sure dun sa base dito sa kwento ninyo. Gayunpaman, kung inyo itong idudulog sa Bureau of Customs matapos ang July 1, maaari po namin i-follow up yan later on. So, ang maganda niyan ay dun po sa tamang ahensya ninyo itawag at tignan po natin kung anong magagawa after that. Sana kasama po si Sir Velo sa family pic ng iyong phone taking. Gustuhin ko man, kaya lang kailangan mamili yung tatlo kung sinong sasama. Si Harry, si Yoshi, o si Sir Velos. Kasi, So, paano ba yun? Mag-jack and boy pa sila.
Kasama sa,
Magpupompiang pa.
sa
So, take,
isasama doon?
wala po yatang ticket para kay
Wala yata
Cerberus
mga
din.
hayop na allowed na pumunta dyan.
Yung service dogs pwede.
Ganun ba?
Ah.
O di isalin natin siya sa service. Doge, ang tamad-tamad.
Kaya
Puro
lang, ano eh.
bubuluan ka lang
Hindi, ang gulo eh. Sir, Cerberus, eh, tulog na. Aga.
Yan.
Yan.
Continue.
Okay. Titingnan, sumasagot lang ako ng mga tanong. Si Harry po tulog na, tinatanong ni Ma'am Tatiana. Si Harry kasi yung pinakababait pagdating sa sa yung schedule of
matanda na.
activities. So, yung kain, tulog, walang issue parati. Tapos marunong siya magsabi pag kailangan niya ng tubig, kailangan niya lumabas. Madali maintindihan yung language ni Harry. Si Yoshi, minsan needy eh.
Needy talaga yun.
Yun yung pinaka-KSP talaga, kailangan pansinin ko siya. Tapos pag pinapansin ko yung si Cerberus, nagsiselos yun.
Inaaway niya yung
Naaway niya si
malaking aso.
Cerberus. Si Yoshi parang siguro 1/4 lang yata ni Cerberus.
Yeah, kakarnihin talaga siya.
Para buti, maybe pa itong isang to. Diba no, sir? Yun ngayon ang papansin eh. Pero at least hindi siya yung sumisingit. Si Cerberus hindi sumisingit kapag nagla-live tayo. Ay, sa'yo lang.
Ayan, paminsan-minsan.
Sa'yo pala. Sa akin hindi. Pag sinabi sit-sit siya eh.
Oo. Kasi meron kang treats eh. Meron kang bribe sa kanya eh.
Oo. I'm so grateful kahit yung rice tarification law will be under review. If it can't be repealed, I'll settle for a review. Anihan na po ng first crop ng palay sa September. Sana maibenta ng malaki. Ang sinasabi po ni BBM, gawin niya po ang lahat ng makakayang magawa as soon as possible. Pero wag rin po naman tayo mag-expect ng miracles na magagawa natin lahat within the year. Tandaan ninyo, it took a long time para magkaroon ng lumala yung problema ng ganito. It might also take some time to fix it. So sana habaan lang ng konti po yung pasensya. Pero asahan ninyo na he will hit the ground running. Tinatanong ni JC Cheat, saan na daw yung pusa sumasama sa live namin? Ay, si Jack. Andun, si Jack sa
Natatakot kasi sa aso yung mga pusa. Dahil ang laki-laki niya.
Actually, hindi. Si Jack at ito, may naglalaro sila. Pero,
Sila.
hindi, ang problema ni Jack, doon siya sa desk ko, nakatambay. Yun yung lugar niya. Hindi siya dito nakikialam.
This is the kitchen.
Ito po yung kitchen ng mermaid pigs na ginagawa pa.
Tapos na po.
Tapos na ba?
Natulugan ko lang.
Pagka nakalipat ka na.
Water ako eh.
Lipat ka na kasi. Hindi ko na nakikita si Jack na meower. Si Jack nga kasi nandun sa desk ko.
Nandun yun sa loob
Yun
ng
yung
bahay.
tulugan niya, Yun yung tulugan niya, yung desk ko. Parang nga siyang camouflage eh. May mga minsan, basta may yung mga, meron ako mga storage boxes na itim. Pag nakahiga siya doon, di mo siya makikita talaga. Pati dito, pag dito humiga siya dyan sa sa tile ng kitchen. Lana, nag-disappear na siya, hirap hanapin. Para dun sa mga nagsasuggest kung sino yung magiging kalihim ng ng iba't ibang mga departamento, asahan ninyo kung kunwari yung mga nag-apply ay kinoconsider at kinikilagis. Pero tulad nga ng sinabi ni Attorney Osam, in the end, it is the President's discretion. Diba? Marami tayong nakikita. Siyempre, nakikita natin marami pong magagaling. Pero may ibang mga factors. Siyempre, one is if they get along and they can masasabayan nila yung work ethic ng ating President-elect, yung working style niya, then these things also have to be considered. So, tandaan niyo po, it's not a popularity contest. Although the president-elect ay nakikinig naman sa
Sa
ating
clamor.
mga sa clamor,
May sinasabi si Papa Raul. Raul.
rule.
Amin.
Alam mo, mahusay former Sec Ernesto Abella, why not endorsing to BBM on
Magkakilala na
agriculture?
yan sila.
Magkakilala naman po sila. Ang tanong is, nag-apply po ba siya? Diba?
Nag-apply ka ba?
Ako hindi. Meron ng
Very good.
kalihim nga ng agrikultura, si BBM na nga yun.
Ay, siya na nga.
Oo.
So,
So,
magpipili na lang siya ng pagpapatuloy ng kanyang reforms na gagawin sa DA. That's the...
hindi, si Sec Abella, galing sa PCOO yun.
Oh, nga,
Siya
but
yung
BBM, whoever would
Oo.
he chooses, would continue the reforms that he will be making. Diba?
Mm. So we will see po. Like I said, it really also depends on working styles, kung kilala ng presidente, yung galing din, and so on. So marami ring factors yan. Pero merong pagkikilatis, merong committee na nagkikilatis. So I think that's also, ang dami-dami pong factors din involved dyan. Ay,
Pangkape.
salamat mamaan para dun sa padala ninyong pangkape, bawas anto.
Hindi ako nagkakape, pero sige, tatanggapin ko pa rin.
Basahin natin to. Malakas ang appeal ni Attorney Ahmed.
What? Lies!
Talaga lang. Let me see. Isasama ba ni PBBM yung organic agriculture farming? Wala pa po akong impormasyon dyan, hintayin po natin. Pero asahan ninyo na he-reads up matindi mag-aral yung ating president-elect. So, let's wait and see po for that one. Hindi pa po, in fact, dun sa press conference kanina, patikim pa lang yon ng mga plano. So, pagka naglantad na or pagka nilapag na nila yung buong mga plano, then asahan ninyo na sa PCOO nyo rin maririnig.
At saka sa Luminous.
At sa Luminous, syempre. Ay, si Sir Bobby nandito. Hi, Sir Bobby. I hope PTV4 can revive such shows as Concert in the Park and come up with quality educational shows, i.e. Kaluskos, Musmos, Champoy, John and Marcia. I no longer watch local TV since 2016.
Ito ba yung
Sige,
si
sir.
Bobby yung kakasuhan ko dahil kulang
Kulang yung pinadala niya strawberry
strawberry
cake.
cake. Dahil inubos mo.
What? That's not true.
Ibinigyan na ako ng isang slice, brother. Ano galing nito?
Pero gano'ng kalaki yung slice na yon?
Relatively small.
Of course not. It's more than 3/4 of the cake. So, yun, sige, yung mga ganito na suggestions, we take that into consideration. So, duly noted po.
Julie noted.
Nice talaga. Yes, because he is awesome.
Ano yan? Yes, Jesus.
Ang lakas daw ng appeal mo because you're awesome.
That is true. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Oo nga, love na
Para
love siya ni
matapos
Sir.
na. Para matapos na. Si Densyo nandyan.
Hi, Dennis. Bakit
Pinauwi
po
mo yung
yung
kanina.
nakas-
Nandito yan eh. Umuwi ka na. Dahil
Cute
exposed
daw
kami.
yung naka-stripes. Okay.
Gusto mo sabihin ko yung kasabihan mo?
No. Would PBBM appoint Soljen Calida in another position? Wala po akong impormasyon on that one. At tandaan ninyo, dami-dami pong positions in government na kailangan
Okay.
punuin.
Pag
Ayan, sabi ni Dennis, magdadala siya ng siopaw pagluwas niya.
Yeah, kasi siya. Shout out kay Dean. Doon sa
Hi din kay Dean, Dennis.
sa Tarlac, yung kanyang, ano ba yan? Kowloon, Tarlac. Naka-black pa si Loco.
Natanong ni Ana Dulay, para kanino yung lyrics quote sa status mo?
It's for everyone. It's for everyone. And for me, because yung naririnig ko yan, during the day when I work here at the shop, nakikinig kami doon sa FM station ng Iglesia ni Cristo.
95.
Yes, I listen to that. And yung mga pinapatugtog nila are the kind of songs that I listen to. And I remember the lyrics, so the type of lyrics, this is a good part of the song. Ganyan. But it's not for someone in particular, or if it is in fact for that someone in particular, then he or she already knows it.
Ah,
No?
pag nagtatanong ka, hindi mo talaga.
Para kanino. It's for everyone. No one.
Ito sabi ni Densyo, thanks madam, lagi mo ako pinagtatanggol sa sa katabihan na yan. Eh kasi ang kulit na eh.
Sabi ni Jigs.
Sabi ni Jigs, sinagot na po yung sa Alwyn Cargo, mag-file daw po muna kayo complaint after July 1 sa customs at sa kanila try makatulong sa follow-up. Kasi hindi pa kayo matulungan ngayon, wala pa po sila sa pwesto.
Yeah, that makes sense. O si Bench. Bo,
Ay,
hindi nagpatalo yung
so
Bench.
glad you're here.
Lo,
Salamat.
lo
You're
ba
here
nun?
with Attorney A, Attorney T this morning, but kudos to Attorney Awesome. Did a very good job for sure. Yan.
Nambobola ka, brother, ah.
You really should put your money where your mouth is. And I'm not talking about it dito sa super chat. I mean, like and share.
Yeah, you should
Kung,
like and share.
kung na-osaman kayo kay Osama.
Sobrang laking challenge to, na ako nga noon, hindi ako nagpo-post ng kahit isang beses sa isang araw ngayon. I do live every night.
O, di ba?
It's like, I have to change this behavior and attitude.
Tapos, bukod pa doon, nagraradyo pa siya 3 times a week. 3 times a week?
Yeah, by default, because
Mon-
it's completely left it to me.
Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, may tambayan po si Attorney Osam. So,
If I,
kalain mo,
Lain mo, di ba? Napilitan.
oo. So, ayan, natawa tuloy si Bench. Like and share naman po kayo dyan.
Makulit din yan si Benji.
Ay.
Lagi nang aasa kayo.
Ito,
What's that?
sabi ni Milvin, panotice naman. Actually, dati, nung ako lang yung nagla-live, pag may nagsabing panotice, hindi ko
Hindi niya
binabasa yun.
notice. Ngayon, notice na niya.
Ano po ang mahalagang papel o magiging role namin ng mga agriculturists, lalo na kaming mga walang malalaking outlet and channel to practice our professions? Lalo na po ako, gusto ko pong ma-enhance yung skills ko at makatulong sa sector ng agrikultura. Well, tulad nga ng sinabi ko, hindi pa po kasi kumpleto yung nilalabas na plano ng ating President-elect. Hindi pa nga po kasi kami nakaupo.
We will
So,
tell him that what you're saying.
Yung mga ganito, of course, ano ba sinasabi natin, these are duly noted at pagka nagkaroon ng pagkakataon ay papaabot namin.
Meron ba sinabi siya
As
ni
possible.
Trixie na duly noted na hindi niya
Hindi ko
binigyan ng pansin?
Hindi kasi ang pwede ko nang gawin
By
ay
history.
ipadala dun sa tamang autoridad,
Channels.
sa tamang channels, at sila po ang may ang sagot niyan. Pero sa ngayon, ang gusto kong intayin ay yung plano ng ating President-elect para sa agrikultura. Kapag nilabas na po yun, trabaho po ng PCOO na kami po yung mag-announce niyan. So, we will put it out there as soon as we know. Hindi pa po namin masasagot yung mga tanong ninyo. Ngayon, kung meron ng concern, tulad ng concern nga ninyo dito for agriculturists, then makakaabot naman po. May plano po ba para sa fuel price? Pinag-usapan ng ating President-elect kanina sa kanyang press briefing at ang sabi niya is, may mga nagtatanong kasi kung tatanggalin yung excise taxes. At ang sagot niya, hindi siya pabor kasi masyadong maraming maghihirap din. Kumbaga, tina-transfer lang natin at saka parang ang nakikinabang daw po dun sa pagtanggal
It's not directly the
ng
poor people.
excise taxes ay syempre yung mga can-afford
May sasakyan.
the fuel already. So, para makinabang ang lahat, tinitignan niya yung fuel price, yung fuel subsidies. So, intayin po natin para ma-implement yun. Like I keep saying, hindi pa po kami nakaupo. So, Pero kung tinatanong din ninyo yung plano, hindi pa rin po kami makakapagsabi kasi hindi pa nga po ina-announce. And as a matter of fact, hindi pa po kumpleto lahat ng mga departamento. Ah, it will be completed, pero alam niyo naman na ang policies ng bawat department, usually, no man is an island yan eh. So, kailanganin namin din ng kumbaga, we need all the other departments para yung pagkagawa ng mga plano ay nakafocus dun sa vision ng ating President-elect. So kahit napupuno may mga kalihim na sa mga departments, wala pa rin plano because we have to mesh those plans together. Okay? So, naiintindihan ko na gusto ninyo talaga nananabik kayo marinig yung mga plano na ito, pero until such a time as mailahad na ng bawat department at nakita na namin yung mga participations namin at yung mga areas of cooperation, then hindi ko pa po masagot yung inyong mga tanong. Hayaan nyo kapag meron ng impormasyon, ilalabas namin kaagad. Sabi ni Ma'am Babe, siguro kahit sila Boss Conrad na miss nila ang tawa niyo, Attorney Sarah. Alam niyo dati, nung na-miss namin si Boss Jojo, piniplayback namin yung kanyang mga sinasabi. Like yung magandang umaga niya sa karambola. So siguro kung ma-miss nila ako, pwede naman nilang patugtugin yung
Sumisigaw din sila.
pwede naman
Oo.
nilang ikan. Although sumisigaw pa rin naman sila ng oo. Opo, na yung mga nagtatanong tungkol dun sa mga box, opo, hindi pa nga po, wala pa nga pong nakatalaga na Customs Commissioner na bago at hindi pa po kami nakaupo. Pero, napapansin naman po namin yung dulog ninyo, yung mga hinaing ninyo, and once meron na kaming capacity to do something about it, hayaan niya i-announce namin. Okay? Sabi ni Ma'am Nila Marie, bakit ang ganda-ganda lalo ngayon, Attorney Chris? Ma'am, wala pa po kasi akong barya.
Kasi nakakatulog ko siya ngayon eh. Hindi pa nagtatrabaho masyado.
Dahil na-quarantine ako, nakatulog ako kaninang hapon. So, for the first time in ilang ilang months na. In a month. So, kailan ba in-announce? May 25 or 27 yung pagka-announce. So, and then, nag-press briefing na ako right after that. So, mag-iisang buwan na po. Except for today, mag-iisang buwan na po walang tulog. Wala nang nap time. Tapos, medyo na kami. Kasi kailangan mag-aral eh. Kailangan pagpasok namin, ready na po kami. So, sabi, mas okay po talaga na dito namin kayo nakakausap direct. Thanks po, attorney. Mas madali makarating sa pamahalaan. Kaya nga, nagmo-monitor pa rin naman po kami. At trabaho naman po ng communications ang nakikinig. Hindi lang po kami naglalabas ng impormasyon. Bahagi po, di ba, ang communications, hindi lang po parati ang one way. Kaya nga gustong-gusto ng mga tao ang social media dahil ito ay interactive. So, sisikapin namin na kahit hindi ako masyadong makakapag-live sa Luminous, makakarating, magmo-monitor pa rin kami or ako ng mga issues dito sa social media.
Kidnap ko naman siya eh.
Sabi ni Attorney Ahmed, nakikidnap naman daw po niya ako paminsan-minsan. Sabi ni Ma'am Sherry Emilia, thank you po, nabuhayan po kami ng loob. God bless. Opo, gusto ko lang is that we're going to be, we will be listening. Yun po yung trabaho namin, bahagi ng pagko-communicate sa inyo ng mga programa at kalisiyan ng gobyerno. In some instances, trabaho din namin ang magpaliwanag o magbigay ng liwanag sa inyong mga issue. So, sisikapin po namin na gawin yan ng maigi. At kung may pagkakataon o may mga pangangailangan, ay umabot yung mga daing ng taong bayan sa ating Pangulo, sa ating President-elect. Magandang gabi kay Ma'am Gloria Dato. Nanonood daw siya doon sa sa Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Tokyo. New York, New York, Tokyo. Tinatanong ni Eric Maximo kung may plano ng PCOO na magkaroon ng news outlet for international audience to counteract mga rapid Dilawan news like The Times, etc. Okay, meron tayong Philippine News Agency. Yan po ang ating wire agency. At ito ang nagpapadala ng news sa iba't ibang bansa. Diba? Um, titignan po natin kung paano natin may improve ito at titignan natin yung iba't ibang mga larangan kung saan natin mapupuno ang kakulangan ng impormasyon o maling impormasyon sa ibang bansa. So, hayaan niyo't nakita naman po namin yung problema tungkol doon. Pinag-uusapan kasalukuyan kung paano natin sasagutin yon. Okay? Dito na po yata siya.
Sampo.
Hindi ka ba nangangasim ako?
Matamis siya. Sige.
Nangangasim ako doon sa Santos. Wait, balik ka na dito. Ikaw ang nagla-live. Sabi ni Sir Jigs, kakabilib nga po kayo talaga piniprepare na lahat bago pumasok. Saludo ng incoming admin. Miss talaga ang ganito pong live nyo. Iba pa din talaga pag ikaw po. Opo. Pero napansin nyo kanina, di ba, nung press conference si ating President-elect kasama si ang ilang miyembro ng kanyang economic team. At of course, andun si Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez. Nakita ko si Sec Benjo, no? At iba pang mga, kasi Neda Sec. So, ibig sabihin, parang pinapakita nila talaga na tuloy-tuloy yung pag-uusap tungkol dun sa mga hinaharap ng parating na administrasyon. Tama po kayo, pinaghahandaan na po ang lahat ng makakaya para sa pagpasok ay makadami tayo, ika nga, di ba? So,
Magbababay na rin ako. Ang haba na, magdadalawang oras.
Kanina ka pa pala?
Yeah.
Natulog na si Sir.
Sige lang.
Sige, iwan ko muna yung
Sasama sa'yo pag
sige.
kumili.
Maraming salamat sa pagsubaybay sa Luminous. Ingat po kayong lahat.
Bye. Alright. Santol. Okay. Let's just wrap up this discussion a little bit. Again, because this is a continuing conversation, we will do this every night. We will continue what we didn't complete. And thank you for coming and and listening to me and then Attorney Trixie. Palagi na kaming ganyan, bigla akong i-hijack, which is just my pleasure kasi mahirap mag-isip kaya. Alright, but okay. I think nawala namang naiwan na hindi ko pa nasasabi about my observations about this incoming president. Diba? Including the national ID and all that stuff. And he was talking about yung private ownership ng foreign companies. He said that this is not even the first problem there. Okay? But, all right. We will continue this discussion, this conversation with you, with me, with us, Luminous and Attorney Trixie, for as long as she is here in quarantine. And thank you for supporting us. Those who sent, what was that? Yung mga pera-perang ganyan. Siya may alam niya rin. But, alright. Isang bahay hindi. Bahay niya nandoon. This is the shop doon sa likod yung shop ko, and then this kitchen that I made for her daughter. All right. Okay. So I think we have to wrap up tonight for tonight. But tomorrow we will be here again, and please join me again tomorrow. And maybe Attorney Trixie is still here. Uh, we will do this again. We will continue with this conversation. All right. Thank you very much, and don't forget to like and share Luminous on Facebook and YouTube, as well as yung ating tambayan and karambola, and yung mga post namin, di ba? You like, you comment, para active tayo, and we exchange more jokes and ideas and all that stuff. Yung mga kalokohan ko, ganyan, mabasa niyo. Okay? Alright, that's it. That's my message for you tonight. I will see you again tomorrow. Not only in Tambayan, but also here in Luminous Live. And maybe other Trixie would still be would be with us again. Alright, so that's it. Good night, everyone. Yeah, good night, and thank you for being with me. Okay? Okay, let's post this thing. Ayan, gusto niyang i-post ko raw yan. You can support them, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll read that. And goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Good night, good night. We will see you again tomorrow. There. There and here. Thank you. And that's it for me tonight. Let's hear some music.